Good morning. Yesterday I kind of talked about why and what I'm playing on my retro gaming handheld device and why I kind of recommend playing a game. For example, I'm playing Final Fantasy 9 right now and I went away from Final Fantasy 8 because I didn't enjoy it. And today I kind of want to talk about the different media that I really enjoy because, as we all know, times aren't that great at the moment. Economy isn't great. It feels like so much is going on in the world, and it is so important to find things or one thing. But if you have multiple things, that would be amazing to kind of not necessarily practice escapism, while you could argue it is escapism, but I feel like it is, for me, a way to regenerate and kind of get away from everything that is negative. And yes, per definition, that's escapism, but I feel like the word escapism is a little bit seen as something negative, where people don't want to kind of think about what's going on and kind of push that to the side. And I'm kind of approaching it from the way that I need to escape sometimes to re-energize and look at the problems that I have that I need to solve from a refreshed perspective and with potentially a new point of view, because every time I can kind of disconnect from that problem or from the issues that I'm having, I have right away a completely different perspective on that once I get back, which is basically the reason why I recommend like retro gaming, for example, to get away from my phone. Again, so many people will argue, hey, your phone is so much better. Why don't you just game on your phone? Or why don't you just kind of do something on your phone to get away? Because I have Teams on here, I have WhatsApp, I have emails. Every time I try to get away, I get notifications and I get pulled back into the project that I'm working on. So for me, it is a really good practice to utilize a gaming device that is not connected to the internet, that gets me away from those notifications. And when I get away from that, I get re-energized. I can then approach the problems that I need to deal with much better. And that is why I'm a huge advocate of trying to find things that kind of pull you away from everything. Also, like martial arts. I love Muay Thai because every time I go to training, I can switch off, because when I'm in sparring or when I'm holding pads, when I'm practicing on pads, I need to be in that moment, or my training partner gets hurt. So that is for me the best way to kind of switch off my brain and get away from everything that is going on. And I talked about martial arts, I talked about retro gaming, but today I kind of want to talk about an audiobook that I recently listened to, and I got an Audible subscription. I don't utilize it that much because I already got 10 credits that I haven't used because I just didn't have the time to listen to it, or I was kind of occupying myself with listening to YouTube. So for all of you other vloggers, I didn't watch all of your videos, but I watched a couple of them and I just didn't have the time to comment. So I follow all of you, but I also kind of went back to listening to audiobooks instead of listening or watching YouTube videos. So if I didn't comment or watch all of your videos, I'm really sorry about that, but I kind of needed to get away from YouTube to listen to audiobooks. And the book that I listened to and that I kind of want to recommend today is the audiobook. It's called Start a Villain. It's by John Scalzi. It's on Audible, and I really recommend to get this audiobook and not the book. A book is obviously is great. Reading a book is amazing to get away, to kind of focus on what's in your hand instead of your phone, because obviously when you have an audiobook, you still are a little bit likely to scroll on your phone. But this audiobook the version that I'm recommending is the one that is voiced by Wil Wheaton. Wil Wheaton, if you don't know, was Crusher, Wesley Crusher, was the son of Beverly Crusher, the doctor on Star Trek Next Generation. And I hope I didn't get this wrong. Was he really Wil Wheaton? Wil Wheaton, let me just check. Yes, he was the son. Wil Wheaton is was playing the son of the Doctor on Star Trek Next Generation. So if you don't know, but that doesn't matter. He is a really, really good voice artist, and he's reading this book and performing this book in a very humoristic way. So kind of to summarize this book without spoiling it, there is this character. He is in between life periods where he kind of doesn't know what he wants to do. He is a substitute teacher, part-time, and yeah, he isn't in the best period of his life. Bills are being paid late, and he wants to get a loan to buy a pub, but he doesn't get that loan because he's only a substitute teacher. So life isn't great. Then his uncle, who he has never been in contact with, dies, and he inherits something where his life takes a completely different turn. Can I say that without spoiling? I mean, the book is called Starter Villain, and maybe I'm spoiling a little bit, but this is obviously happening all in the beginning of the book. So his uncle is a villain, and so he inherits the business of his uncle and is a starter villain, just as the book says. And there are a lot of really funny things that are happening because it's totally, it's so hard to kind of summarize a book or a movie without spoiling stuff and doing a review. So I applaud all of the book reviewers and all of the movie reviewers who do such a great job reviewing stuff without spoiling. But yeah, there are some things happening because he's a starter villain, and I was laughing out loud so many times when I was listening to the book in the car or just sitting at a dinner table for breakfast. And this book is amazing, and Wil Wheaton does such an amazing job performing this audiobook. And I can highly recommend this book. Again, John Scalzi and is the author. The book is called Starter Villain, and really important from my side, it's spoken or read by Wil Wheaton. Wheaton is Wil Wheaton, and the book's author is John, and then Scalzi, Scalzi, Starter Villain. And it's amazing. It's a really good audiobook. I can highly recommend it. And again, I'm having a little bit of a hard time to kind of explain the story without spoiling. Again, it's all about this guy who is a little bit out of his luck, is kind of not doing great in his life, and then inherits the villain business of his uncle, and he's trying to figure out how to be a villain. And it's hilarious. I really enjoyed this book. Also, finished that book now. I have so many audiobooks. If you want me to kind of review some more audiobooks, so maybe you can see a little bit what I have been listening to or am listening to right now. I kind of bought the Harry Potter full cast edition. So I mentioned that I have been reading all of the Harry Potter books in German and in English, but I also listened to all of the audiobooks in English and in German. Huge Harry Potter fan, and now having this full cast version gives me an opportunity to experience Harry Potter again in a new style. And I do like this new rendition of the audiobook reading, although I was a little bit surprised that some of the parts that have been read, for example, Dumbledore, the audio quality was really weird. It sounded a little bit like the actor that was reading Dumbledore was like in the bathroom or something. It was shockingly worse in terms of audio quality compared to the other. If everything would be the same quality, I wouldn't have noticed it. But in contrast to other speakers, it sounded really weird. So, but I will do a little bit of a review about that audiobook as well, because I enjoy audiobooks a lot. So yeah, that was my short little review. Again, for me, it is escapism, finding media, finding hobbies that help you to escape, but not in terms of getting rid or ignoring your problems. That is not why I utilize escapism, and that is important. I think if you try to escape, to ignore your problems, ignore the task that you are needing to do, then escapism is terrible. Don't do that. We all need to face our problems. We all need to face the to-dos in our lives. Don't ignore them. We need to do them. But don't overwork yourself or don't overload your mental capacity, because burnout is real. I have been experiencing burnout in my life twice, so I feel like I know what I'm talking about. For me, escapism, using media like retro gaming, audiobooks, good movies, series, working out, martial arts, motorcycling, those are means to re-energize by escaping the issues, the tasks that you have to do for a short period of time. 10 minutes of Tetris, 10 minutes of Final Fantasy, 10 minutes of an audiobooks, 1 hour going to martial arts training, 1 hour riding a motorcycle helps me to kind of get away from what I need to concentrate on and then get back re-energized with a new perspective and focus on what I need to do. That is how I utilize these forms of escapism. And that's what I'm kind of recommending, what I'm suggesting. To get away from everything, get a new perspective, get re-energized, and then tackle the problem, the task, in a much more efficient way. And for that, gaming and audiobooks are the 2 things that I recommended yesterday and today. So I hope that helped. Let me know in the comments what kind of audiobook are you listening to, if any. And if you want to see yesterday's video, check out the video up here. It was all about Final Fantasy IX. And YouTube thinks that you like the video down here. Maybe hype and like this video. And maybe also help me to get to 2,000 subscribers by clicking the subscribe button here. Then we see each other tomorrow in the next video. Thank you very much.